Hi guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one because today we're doing a pattern test. So my lovely friend OnethiirdCrochet is working on releasing a new pattern called the Brain Stew Pullover, and I had to test it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's cute. Look at it. I wanted to test it. Number two, I've always wanted to try doing checkerboard patterns on knit projects, but I just haven't had a chance. And I feel like it'll be a good way for me to test my tension with changing colors because I've been working on the Lima tank by Knitting for Olive. And so I've got good tension when I'm changing colors in a consistent way, every stitch, every 2 stitches, things like that. But I'm not really sure about my tension when I'm just changing once and then I'm going again, you know, for the next 5 stitches and then I'm changing again and then I'm going. I feel like that's when my tension isn't the best and that's when my color changes don't look super seamless. So this will be good practice for me. I'm kind of nervous about it, but that's okay. And then the third reason I really want to test this pattern is because I've never put a zipper in any of my crochet or knit garments before and I've been really wanting to try and I've been too nervous. So this is my chance, okay? This is my chance. I'm gonna try. Again, a little nervous about this project, but it'll be good. I decided I wanted to really invest in the yarn for this piece so that it could be an everyday wear in the winter. So let me show you the yarn I picked out. I knew I wanted to do a merino wool, but I struggled because I feel like lots of merino wools are like DK weight or fingering weight. So I spent a lot of time researching, asking people, going on Reddit, YouTube, other places, watching yarn reviews, doing all the good things, and I ended up deciding on this yarn, which is the Knit Picks Swish yarn. It is a 100% fine superwash merino wool. It's worsted weight, and I ended up getting the colors Cider and Mimic, and I'm really happy with this. Aiden herself helped me pick out the color palette because all my friends know I'm terrible at picking out colors. I don't know what it is. I can't do it. Everyone knows. I'm always calling and FaceTiming friends. I'm always messaging people, asking for help picking out colors because I just can't do it. So we decided to go for this kind of like granola color palette of a navy and a warm tone brown, I would say. I recently watched a Breathing Yarns video about picking out a color palette that looks good on you, that you like to wear, and that will blend well together so that you can combine pieces together to make an outfit. And these 2 colors are in my color palette. Okay, I didn't explain that very well, so I'm gonna start over. Isabel's been putting out this personal style series with all of these different videos that I would really highly recommend. And basically the entire premise of this is, hey, 90% of the world struggles with the, oh my gosh, there's nothing in my closet, I've got nothing to wear, I've got nothing for this occasion, and yet our closets are full. So how do we start to rectify that? And she kind of customizes this message to crafters specifically as like, hey, we're not just consumers, we're not just people who are buying clothing, we're also creating our own clothing. So what does that mean? What should we be looking for with textures and types of yarn and colors and things like that? And lots of the things she said, I feel like are very self-explanatory, but have never occurred to me specifically, like never thought about clothing like that. In her second video, How to Stop Buying Clothes You'll Never Wear, she talks about, you know, just kind of having a self-assessment on where you are in your life, what things you do, what's your work life, how often are you home, your day-to-day activities, things like that. You know, workout clothes are really cute, but if you're not going to the gym every day, you don't need 15 sets of workout clothes, you know? If you work from home, maybe you don't need a lot of office wear. If you're in a hot place, maybe you don't need to buy a bunch of sweaters, or maybe you don't need to make a bunch of sweaters, things like this, which again, might seem self-explanatory, but I've just never thought of my clothing in this way. And her videos kind of just help me reframe how I think of my personal style in my closet, because this is something I've always struggled with. I always tell my friends, I don't know how to dress, I don't know how to accessorize, I don't get any of it. I know what I like and that's it, and I don't know anything beyond that. And I feel like Isabel's done a good job at kind of getting me started along that path of kind of analyzing and thinking critically about what I wear. And the color palette video specifically is along that same vein of let's analyze not only the colors we like and don't like, but the colors we actually wear, the colors that make us feel joy, the colors that look good on us, the colors that don't look good on us, but we freaking like them anyway, and who gives an F, you know, things like that. All of those factors come into play when thinking of what you're gonna wear. The end goal of all these videos is to have a closet of items that you enjoy, that you will wear, that are suitable for your day-to-day activities and your lifestyle, and in theory can work together, because you want a synergistic closet, right? You want things that are all going to go together. And if you use these kind of guidelines of color, texture, things you like, things that align with your lifestyle, the pieces are going to end up going from a huge spectrum to kind of closing a little bit, and they're going to start becoming more and more similar. So in theory, you can mix and match, and then you don't have to rely on buying things all the time as much as, you know, we all feel like we have to. Anyway, that was a really long-winded way of saying I really recommend watching her personal style series. I've watched every video, as you could see, incredible, 10 out of 10. That's all. And the yarn itself is really soft. I was kind of nervous because I just put in a giant order for like 10 skeins. I don't really know. and I hadn't touched it, I hadn't felt it, but it's really soft. So I'm pretty happy with the quality of the yarn. And yeah, without further ado, let's freaking get into it. Let's start a pattern test. I actually don't know when this is due, so. And I'm actually going to be seeing Aiden in the flesh in a few months. We've got a trip planned to hang out, so I'm hoping that I can finish this by then. It's a cropped, oversized fit, so I feel like I can finish it quickly because it's cropped, but at the same time it is oversized, so that'll make it a little more difficult. But anyway, I'm just talking when I don't need to talk. Let's get started. Hello. So I've successfully done my gauge swatch. The swatch was a little short, so I had to stretch it out a little bit. So as you can see, you can kind of see through the stitches, but I don't really mind. I was thinking about adding extra rows to the ribbing anyway, so I might end up doing that. And I feel like length is the easier measurement to change. You know, like I can always add more rows if I need to add more rows, and I don't mind a crop moment. So yeah, I'm happy with the swatch. I'm about to do a movie night in my Discord, so I'm gonna cast on for the ribbing and get started on this bad boy. I'm excited to finally start this. I don't know if I've said this, but I've been pushing off starting this until I finish a bunch of my whips because I want this to be the main priority. So I just finished my Baby Lovey, Baby Booties, and Legally Blonde pillow. So now I can officially start this. And now this is only one of 2 whips I have going right now. If anyone tells you the Twilight movies have no use, tell them this. During new moon, I've completed all 12 rows of my ribbing over 132 stitches. Pretty useful to me. Anyway, now I need to start the body of the sweater. The pattern calls for 10 rows of ribbing, but I've decided to do 12. Because I like a chunky rib, okay? Sue me. Hello, last time I talked to y'all, I think I mentioned that I finished the ribbing. Yay, exciting. Now I need to start the body panel, which means a couple things. One, I need to change my needles because like most knitting patterns, we size down for the ribbing, so I need to size up. And then I also am going to prep some balls of yarn for the body panel because we go straight into the checkerboard. I was trying to decide how I wanted to do this, if I wanted to carry my yarn all the way through the panel or what. And I decided that I'm actually gonna give each square its own ball of yarn because I just feel like it'll be cleaner on the inside and I'll save yarn that way. So what I need to do is bake a million small balls of yarn. I don't even know how many I need to make. Like I need to look at the pattern and see how many squares it is. Let's see. Okay, so now I need to make 5 balls of orange, 6 balls of navy. Well, I start with the navy actually, so I'm just going to pull from here. And I'm gonna do the trick. I don't know if y'all have seen this before. I don't know how well known this is, but for people who do color work all the time, you'll see that sometimes they'll have balls of yarn hanging off their work, and it's kind of like, how are they doing that? Well, basically what they do is they make a ball of yarn, but they make it so that they pull from the inside. So if I were to do it for this, I've got my skein over here, I've got my work right here. This part of the yarn that's connected to my work is gonna be the center of the ball. So I'm gonna keep my fingers here and I'm gonna pull from the skein of yarn around that center line. Like as you see, as I'm wrapping it around, the center line isn't moving. The key to doing this is making sure that you're not pulling too tight, because if you make your ball really, really compact, you're never gonna be able to pull from the middle. So you have to start out a little looser, and my balls of yarn never look perfect when they do this because you can't go 360 degrees in a ball. You know, you have to leave an end hanging out, but you just kind of do it the best you can. Like I usually just try to shape it into a ball. It's usually a little difficult. And then at the end, I just cut my yarn and kind of tuck it. Try not to stretch this yarn out too. Okay, so here's my completed ball of yarn. You can see if I hold from here, it's just gonna dangle off my project. This is what it looks like. So this is ball number 1. I'm gonna make 10 more, and then we can get started on the checkered. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm working on row number 1 of the checkered, and I've attached all my balls, as you can see. I swear this is easier than having 10 different skeins, okay? I swear. But I'm actually one short, so I need to make one more orange ball, which is great because I only have a tiny amount of the skein left. So I think I'm just gonna convert this into a ball and add it, and then we'll be ready to go. So I did the first like 3 rows or whatever, and then as you can tell, I cut all of my yarn and now I'm redoing it because I said earlier that I always struggle when I have to do like one color change, like when I'm going between an orange square and a navy square. I did a couple rows and my color changes just looked super loose, so I texted Ada and I was like, please help me. She was like, I don't know, dude, you should be like, twist the balls. And I was like, I'm twisting the balls, it's not working, like I don't understand. She just said twist it tighter. So anyway, I frogged it and now I'm twisting it tighter and I think it's working. So if you also struggle with, you know, single color changes like this, just remember, twist the balls. Anyway, so I'm pretty happy with it. The unfortunate thing is that now I'm going to have to attach all my balls of yarn again, but that's okay. I just need to decide if I want to loosely attach it or magic knot it. I don't like the idea of having a bunch of magic knots, but at the same time, having even more ends to weave in is also not fun. So we'll just see what happens. And I think if I can get to a comfortable point with this, that this project will be really smooth. It's just the color changes. That's the only thing I'm like, my camera died, but anyway, that's the only thing I'm quote unquote like insecure about, is literally the color changes at the start of each square. So if I can get that down, I think this project's gonna be a breeze. I just know that because I invested in this yarn, I want to wear this project once it's done. So I'm going to try to make it as perfect as possible, which is probably a recipe for disaster, but you know, it's okay. We're gonna do our best. I just feel like usually I come into projects with lower stakes, but whenever I use like a more expensive or a higher quality yarn, I'm like, okay, this needs to be perfect, and life isn't perfect. Usually that complicates things a little, but that's okay. I'm just gonna do my best. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm already noticing things that I don't like. It's kind of dark, but that stitch right there, that orange stitch is just pretty loose. Things like this are gonna be annoying me, but I'm like, you know what? I've got a whole sweater to work on this, so practice makes perfect. I'm just gonna try to make my knots pretty tight and do the best I can, and hopefully as I go up, the color changes get better. I just know myself, and I know if it doesn't turn out nicely, I'm not gonna wanna wear this, and that's gonna frustrate me after investing so much yarn. So probably shouldn't have invested so much in yarn for a project based on a technique that I'm not good at, but whatever. I'm gonna do my best. That's all. I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna keep knitting. So this is what it's looking like. The color changes aren't perfect. For some reason, the left side, like this side of it, the color changes are kind of loose. But then when you come to this side, the color changes are much tighter. I'm not really sure why. Overall, this is much better than the first time. So some of these color changes are like perfection. Like this color change is perfect. But then we have some like this, which is just not good. Now that I've already cut my balls of yarn off, I'm like, is it worth doing this same row over and over again until I get something that's up to my standards? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely much better than the first time. Yay for progress. Oh, and I think these colors are gonna be so cute. Anyway, that's all. So earlier I said I cut the balls off, right? Well, I picked up the stitches with my 4mm needles because I frogged all the way to the end of the ribbing. Guess who just did multiple checkerboard rows on the 4mm needles? So I actually am gonna have to frog it anyway. So this is just practice. I'm treating these few rows as practice. I mean, it was 3 rows, so it's nothing crazy, but now I need to frog it again. Okay, I just frogged my first row of checkers for like the 4th time or something. I'm gonna give it a rest for tonight, and we're gonna try tomorrow. I just want the transitions to be perfect, so I keep undoing it and redoing it. I'm gonna organize this in the meantime. Hello, it's the next day. This is my 5th time redoing it or something, I don't know. I'm much happier with the color changes now. Here are all my balls. The key with keeping them straight is to just be very careful when you put them down and pick them up, because they'll get just as tangled as anything else. But in theory, you do have more control because they're not gonna roll away. I'm gonna just shift my stitches down the needles so you can see. It's kind of hard to tell because the yarn is so dark, but here are the color changes. So I am just much happier with how it looks. I don't really know what was going on. I texted Aiden yesterday and I said, help me, they look like shit. Like, I don't know what's going on, they don't look good. And she said, what are you doing? Like, make sure to twist your balls. Like, make sure you're kind of knotting your yarn together. And I was like, I'm doing that, girl, I'm doing that. I don't really know what was going on, but it's working now. I'm not gonna question it, that's all. I'm really happy with how the colors are turning out. I think it's gonna be yummy. Hello. It is a few days later. I've just been kind of grinding on this off camera because I just want to get it done, honestly, because I've been so frustrated with the color changes, but I have finally finished a full row of checkers. So here's what it's looking like. I'm actually really liking how this is turning out. I think it looks great. My color changes are pretty crisp, and now I can get started on checker row number 2. Yay! And here are all my balls. Hello, just an update. It's now September 2nd. I don't know when I started this. I don't know why I'm telling you the date, but we have finished square. We have finished row number 3 for the checkers, so that's pretty exciting. Row number 3 of the checkers is done, and I was looking at the pattern and I only need to do 4 rows before I start doing just plain knit all the way up, so I'm getting pretty close. I also impulsively decided today to buy more yarn because if you haven't seen the pattern for this, the entire back is checkered, and I was like, I don't wanna. So I bought 2 more skeins of the blue, and I'm hoping that will be enough to work the back panel, and I think I'm just gonna make the back completely solid. So it'll just be kind of a little bit of checkered on the front, and then everything else will just be plain. I was thinking maybe like I could do some stripe action, like a little bit. Like I'm thinking like, you know, 7 rows of blue, 2 rows of brown, like that kind of stripe where it's mostly blue and just a little bit of brown, or like maybe I do a row of checkers on the cuffs or something, I don't know. Because I'm like, I bought a lot of the orange and I'm gonna have so much extra because I just was dumb. When I bought the yarn, I did not look at the pattern and I just assumed the pattern was checkered only on the front and not on the back. So I bought 3 skeins of brown for no reason. Like this is not even a half skein, you know what I mean? This is like negative orange yarn. I've got 2 extra skeins of orange. So I'm trying to decide like if I want to incorporate it at all and how. But I was thinking like maybe a little bit of striping or maybe like a color block, I don't know anyway, but this is what it's looking like. I'm going to try to start the next row of checkers tonight because I'm doing a little movie night with some of my YouTube mods. Ollie and Moon. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. The next row of checkers is going to be the limiting factor. So that's gonna be what takes me the longest. So I'm gonna try to just start that as soon as possible because after that, when we're just knitting, it'll be freaking easy and I think it'll go by pretty fast. Yay! Hello, update. So I have just finished my last row of checkers, which is pretty exciting. I'm doing the smallest size, so I only have to do 4 rows of checkers. So now I'm going to start working on the top. So basically this is what it looks like. This is the bottom, and I'm gonna keep going with plain rows until we hit the neckline, and we'll split for the neck, and then we'll go up to the shoulders, etc., etc. But I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. Yeah, so my main thing that I'm thinking about now is all of my balls of blue, because now everything's going to be blue. I'm probably not gonna do any more brown throughout the entire thing, because like I said, the back of it's checkered, but I don't really want to do the back checkered. I think I want to do it plain, so I'm trying to decide, do I combine all my blue balls together now, or do I wait until the end? Do I use it strategically for like the sleeve cuff or something like that, where maybe you won't be able to see ends peeking out? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think about now, but this is a problem for future Brooke, because I'm about to go to my library's craft night and work on this a little bit. Yay! Hello, post library craft night, and I did something so stupid while I was there. And the mistake that I made was not the pattern's fault, it was mine. I just completely misread the pattern. Basically, it has you do like row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it says repeat rows 4 and 5, but I thought it said repeat rows 1 through 5. So here's a picture of what I did. As a reminder, this is meant to be like a zip up. So the purpose of rows 1 and 2 is to decrease by literally 2 stitches so that you have enough room to put the zipper in. Nothing more than that. But I made the mistake of continuing to increase over and over and over and making it into a V-neck, and then thinking, this doesn't look right. So yeah, I had to frog like 20 rows of knitting while I was at the library, so that was kind of unfortunate. But the pro is that now that I'm not doing the checkers, it's going much faster. I mean, so fast now that I'm not changing colors every 12 stitches. So that's great. That's all. Just wanted to give y'all a little update. It's funny because when I went to the library, I was like, oh my gosh, I could probably do the whole right side while I'm here. If I had done it right, I probably would have, but did it wrong. But is everyone having a good first week of September? I don't know about y'all, but fall is hitting here quite quickly. Left the house this morning and my neighbor's trees, all the leaves were coming down, and I was like, wait, I'm not ready, please. I'm not ready for fall. It is nice though, because this is the first place I've lived where I've actually got to experience fall, because, you know, I'm from Texas. We don't, I don't know, fall, I don't know. It almost just goes from summer to winter. There's just not much of a transitional season. And then I lived in Florida, which is even worse, where there's really, I mean, there's no winter, you know, it's just hot all the time. So it has been fun living in a place with a true fall, but it's still not long enough. Because in my opinion, fall and spring are the best seasons. Summer's too hot, winter's too cold. So fall and spring are like perfect, and they just don't last long enough. Hello, it's the next day. I actually had a great time last night on live. It was funny because I was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And then I was like, I'm just gonna force myself. And if it doesn't work, if I'm grumpy, if I'm not having fun, I'll just leave. It worked. I had a great time actually, so thank you everyone who joined. Last night we were working on the front left of this zip up. So this is what it's looking like now. I did all of these. This is 35 rows, I believe. So this is what I did basically in that hour or whatever. Very productive. So now at this point, I'm going to be casting off. We're doing shoulder shaping. So I don't really know what it's gonna look like, but we're doing shoulder shaping. This is where we're at. Oh, it's really coming together. I'm glad I finished the checkered portion, because now it's just gonna be so fast. But yeah, that's all. Just wanted to give y'all a little update. Love a nice stockinette. Hope y'all are having a good week. Hello, I've been working on this for a little while this morning. I had to do some more decreases to shape the shoulder, and now I'm casting off the left shoulder. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then we'll start the right shoulder, and then we'll start the back panel. Whoop whoop. I really can't believe how much faster this is going now that I'm not changing colors. I know I keep saying that, y'all, but wow, it's nice. Also, let me know y'all's favorite way to cast off. I'm doing, I feel like, the most basic one where you knit 2 stitches and then you pull your right one over the left one and then you knit another stitch, pull it over, knit a stitch, pull it over. I don't really know what the correct term for this is, but I feel like this is the most basic way to cast off. And I don't know if I'll like this cast off method when I get to assembly, but honestly, when I'm casting off, I just freaking cast off. And if the way I've casted off doesn't look good with the assembly, I'll just frog it and recast off in a new way. I feel like casting off is something that I just don't care about. Like, I just do it to get to the next section, and then if I need to redo it at some point, I will. I don't really want to sit and think about, okay, what's the best way to cast off for this assembly? I'll figure that out when I get there. For now, I just do it, and if it doesn't work, I'll just fix it. That's all. All right, here we are. Boom, left side. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cast on to the right side, and I think it'll go much faster because I feel like no matter what pattern you're doing, when you do the same thing for the left and the right, the second time you're so much faster because you know what's going on and you know what you're supposed to do in advance, but also you know the mistakes that you made. So knowing that I made a mistake when I was doing the decreases on the start of this left front panel, I will make sure I don't do it again. So it'll be like double faster, hopefully, when I do the right side. So let's begin. I am about to keep working on this. I've been slowly working on this throughout the day. As you can see, I've got a couple rows for my right side and I'm about to have a movie night in my Discord. So I'm going to town on this, baby. Let's see how much we can get done during our showing of Twilight New Moon. Hello, we just finished the movie. Ophelia's mad at me because I haven't been paying attention to her while we were watching, but we had a great time. Yeah. And during that time, I completely finished my front panel, so this is what it's looking like. It's not this wide of a v-neck, it's just my panels are curling in a bit. Y'all know how it goes, stockinette man. And I'm really happy with how it's turning out, so now I can go ahead and start the back panel. And as a reminder, I don't think I'm doing any checkers in the back panel, or I could do this or on the back. I didn't even think about that, like bottom half checkered. Huh. Maybe I could do that. I don't want the back to be full checkered, but I kind of feel like if the back's plain and the front has checkered, is it going to be too different? Like, is it not going to feel like a cohesive project, you know? So maybe I do the same 4 all the way across the bottom. Huh. I don't know. It's never occurred to me until right this moment. I was thinking about maybe doing color blocking or stripes, but now I'm like, but now I'm tempted. I don't know. I guess y'all will find out. Stay tuned. Hello. It's been a few days since I've worked on this and I've completed the ribbing for the body panel, but if I'm honest, I really don't want to start working on the checkered portion again, so I think I'm just going to slip all these stitches off onto scrap yarn and then do the sleeves first because I know I want the sleeves to be solid. So that's what I'm gonna do. Aiden and Mags are both the kinds of people that do everything. They do, you know, amigurumi, they do wearables, they do tapestry crochet, they do everything. Kelsey and I are much more stuck. We're much more, I'm wearables or tapestry and she's wearables. Like we are much more stuck in our ways, I suppose, than Aiden and Mags. They do everything. Have you considered getting the piercing to help? What piercing? I work from home too, not too much time on the phone. The headaches were real. Yeah, I think my headaches, I think, are a couple things. One, my partner and I have this theory that I don't eat enough salt, and so I get dehydrated, and so I get headaches. Looking at the computer all day, and then immediately getting off and getting on the phone or on the, you know, on the computer for stuff like this, like editing videos or going live. Love y'all. Love y'all, but just being surrounded by technology so much gives me a headache. Hello. So yesterday I sat outside and was listening to my book and I actually finished the entire second row of Checkered, so that's pretty exciting. I didn't film any of it because I was locked in. But yeah, now I'm gonna go outside and listen to my book and work on this, and maybe I'll film a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm back from the park. Ophelia and I were just sitting, as y'all saw, knitting, hanging out. It was very successful. I finished the book I was listening to, The New Jim Crow, and I started a new book, Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography, I'm Glad My Mom Died. It's really good so far. It's really short. I didn't realize it was gonna be so short. I mean, it makes sense. It's only, for an audiobook, 6 hours long, and I'm already like 20% of the way through because I listened to it quite fast. So that's really good, really sad, both sad and good in their own ways. And I also finished an entire new row of Checkered, so that's really exciting. I just have one row of checkers left before I make the rest of the body panel solid, so I'm really pumped. The goal is to finish that today or tomorrow because this week I'm not gonna be able to do any knitting that requires brain power, I just know it. So I'm hoping to get to the plain stockinette section for the back just to make it easier on myself.
S4 comes out like right, it came out yesterday.
Oh.
Or maybe the day before, but yeah. He was like, I only have 4 days to finish this song.
Okay, that was a really great live. So actually, right as I was sitting down to do it, like plugging my phone in, pulling everything up, Kelsey texted me and said, do you want to go live sometime soon? And I said, I'm about to do it right now, like, you want to join? And she said yes, so we actually ended up going live together, which was so fun. And we only did it for like an hour because I gotta go get groceries after this. But I did successfully complete 7 rows of this last set of checkers, so I'm really excited about this. I'm getting very close. I definitely think I'm gonna meet my goal of finishing this tomorrow before the week starts. Yay. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sit down and finish this set of checkers today. It'll be amazing. Something's wrong. I don't know how I've done this, but something's wrong. So these sets of checkers all have 9 rows and these have 7. Like you can see the difference in the width. I don't know how. I was texting Kelsey and she was like, maybe you turned in the middle of the row, but like, I don't know, but it's messed up. So I'm a little frustrated and tired. It's 9 o'clock, so I think this is my sign to put it down, and we'll come back tomorrow and do some frogging. Okay. So I'm starting the second cup, and I realized after I finished the first one that these needles are like way too small. I don't know why I didn't realize that these are clearly not 4mm needles. I think these are like 3.5 or 3.25, but I just don't care. I did it on the first one. I didn't feel like redoing it, so I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so update on the sweater. I've been kind of just going crazy on it in the background, if I'm honest. All right, at this point, this is what the back looks like. So I've completely finished the left shoulder of it, which is very exciting. I haven't officially cast off, but I'm basically done. So now I need to start the right shoulder. And tonight I'm going to a friend's to watch Dancing with the Stars. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm guessing I'll finish the shoulder while I'm there. I'm hoping I can weave in some ends while I'm there, which would be great. The last row of squares I'm not really happy with. I feel like the transitions aren't very clean, but I'm hoping maybe I can block them out. We'll see. Okay, it's the next day, and last night I went to my friend's house, as I told you, to watch Dancing with the Stars, and I completely finished my back panel while I was there. I did the shaping for the back panel, and I'm actually now working on weaving in some ends. That's my next step. Tonight I'm going to a craft night at the library, and my goal while I'm there is to assemble everything, so that then I can start the collar and the zipper. Hello, I just wanted to provide a little update on how this is going. As you can see, it's almost done. I'll lower the camera. So this is what it's looking like. I'm really excited about it. As you can see, the sleeves are a little short. This is very normal. I'm using, what am I using? 100% superwash merino wool, so it's definitely gonna block out. But yeah, this is what she's looking like. I just sewed on the sleeves and sewed it together, obviously. So now all I have to do is make the neckline. As a reminder, this is where the zipper is gonna go, and then there's gonna be a long fold over collar at the top, and I think it's gonna be great. So my belly button's like right here. When it blocks, it's probably gonna be to my waistline, I would say, or right at my hips. I think this yarn is gonna have a lot of stretch, and I'm excited. But yeah, I just wanted to provide a little update. I will say I made a mistake on one section of the sweater, so let me know if you can find it. When I was cutting the ends off, I trimmed one a little too short, and I cut the stitch it was in. And right before I started trimming the ends, I was like, Brooke, you need to be careful, because I was using big scissors instead of like crafting scissors. So I was like, you need to be aware of where your scissors are. Don't accidentally cut something. And then I did, which is really frustrating because this is gonna be really nice when it's done. And I don't know, again, I want this to look very professional and all that jazz. So that was unfortunate, but that's okay. Okay, it's been a few days, so I put the entire thing together. Here's what it's looking like. And then I spent the last few days working on the folded collar. So basically what you do is you make the collar really long and then you fold it over and sew it shut so you get a nice polished edge. So I'm gonna work on sewing the collar down right now. I don't know why I'm acting it out, but I am. While my Discord has a movie night. We're watching Twilight Breaking Dawn, as you can tell. Yeah, I'm just gonna sew this down and then we're literally so close. I got the zipper today, so all I have to do is sew this down and sew the zipper, block it, and then we're done. Let's do this. Okay, I just spent time sewing the zipper on and then realized I sewed it backwards. So like the lip that you grab to unzip and zip, I put on the inside. So I didn't get that far. I got like 4 stitches in. So I just took it apart. And now we're gonna do it again. Okay, it's been a few hours and here's what it looks like. I'm so excited. So don't look too closely because the zipper application is not very neat, but this is my first time putting a zipper in something, so I'm mostly just happy that it worked at all. The left side looks much nicer than the right side. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's okay. And check it. Ready? Ready? Boom. Check it. Right? It's functional. So there we go. The project is officially done, I would say. There are a few ends, as you can see, that I need to weave in, really just like the ends that I use to assemble the pieces together, and then I need to block it, and that's it. So the next time you see me, hopefully, I'm wearing the finished product. Let's go. Okay, hello, it's done, they're done. Finished brain stew pullover, here we go. This is what mine looks like. I'm very happy. As a reminder, by the time you're watching this, the pattern's out. Aiden, do you wanna talk about them? So there's checkers. Sorry. Checkers. There's color block. Color block. Or there's scrappy. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
scrappy.
So what makes this one cool is that each of these blocks takes like maybe like less than a yard of yarn. So like you can really do like whatever you want with it. I like all the different textures too. Ooh, the sparkle. I like the sparkle. Yeah. Oh, and we're wearing different sizes. So I'm wearing the smallest size. That's the next size up. I'm wearing the 3rd size. And then Kelsey's wearing the biggest size.
The biggest size.
There are only 4 of us, so we can't do all 5 sizes, but yeah. The Brain Stew pullover is out now. If y'all want to buy the pattern, it's in the description. And go follow Aiden on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
And that's gonna be all for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!
Bye.
Bye, everybody!